Welcome back to episode 3 of the podcast. As always, I am your host, Leanne, and this is Leanne's Lounge, and I appreciate you tuning in. Once again, this episode is sponsored by the wonderful @TwistedWireStarter_, who has been supplying some epic custom merch for the podcast. It's always nice to work in association with this small business, as we have been provided with some lovely cups with the logo on it to now give to guests. So that's always a nice treat to be able to add that signature touch to the podcast. So once again, thank you, Ashley. You are a crafty genius. Today's guest is none other than the award-winning poet JimbosMyName, and he is raining from Dublin on his very first podcast here on Leanne's Lounge. So as episode 3 unravels, sit in with a nice cup of tea, be prepared to have a laugh, because this is a nice one. Welcome to the podcast.
Yes, okay, you have it.
Thanks very much for coming over today. I really appreciate it.
No problem at all.
It's great. I've been really looking forward to interviewing you today.
Lovely.
Yeah, you've been on the top of the hit list for guests.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, so how's life treating you?
Life is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, cannot complain, yeah. Love it. Everything is happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're very active now in everything you're doing.
Very active, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. It's coming to a point where I've kind of been able to kind of not have to go on to the open mic scene as much. You can kind of be more specific on what you choose to do.
Yeah.
But firstly, you just keep going to everything. All the open mics, just try and get your name out there.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of a bit more, okay, I'll do this gig, have this one coming up. So yeah, it's good.
Class. So would you like to give everybody listening a nice detailed intro on who you are and why it is that you absolutely fascinate me with what you do?
I'd say James William Dillon, but Jimbo's my name. It's kind of after COVID, I've been doing most of the open mic stuff, but it was way before that I started kind of writing and stuff like that. It probably would have stemmed from going back to the likes of primary school. I think the first poem I ever heard was Daffodils, William Wordsworth, and it was one of them where you're kind of like, oh no way, this is what poetry is. And then after that I started kind of writing little bits, writing about my communion, writing about the 27 bus, and then it just kind of graduated from then. So I've always been writing. And then in 2014 I put together, because it was made part-time in my job, so I had all this extra time, so I'm like, you know what, I'm going to write a poetry book. So we always had loads written down already, because mostly what was happening was I was going out on a night out, getting drunk, going home, writing down a poem, and then the next day I'd get up and kind of look at the writing and then decipher it, rewrite it out. I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense, this is good. So I just compiled all them, made my own little book, self-published, went over to, I think it was in Chicago, priced the book, didn't happen there, but then I went over to, I think it was the Bellegarde Road or something, and then they were like, oh yeah, we'll put a book together for you, yeah. So I think I got 50 made, and then when I went in there and collected them all, like they were all coming out to have a look, I'm like, oh, this is the fella here, you know, that kind of way, and I was just delighted with myself, little picture of me on the front of it and stuff. So the deal was, it was a $5 for a book, and I'd deliver it to your house, get a picture with you, sign it. So I have none left, they all got sold out. But it was happening from then kind of a bit of a hiatus. I was just writing in between, you know, that kind of way. And then COVID kicked off. I was in the house drinking whiskey again. I was like, you know what, I'm going to do something else now. So this is where jazz poetry came into it. So I was writing poems down, listening to a lot of jazz music. So I was like, I'll put jazz music with the poems, and then I'll put that out. So that happened during COVID. It was actually 2 years yesterday, 24th of September, Earth, Wind and Fire Day. So
happy anniversary.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So you took the pictures for us, remember?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
Yeah, we were down at the, where is it, the Elk Inn, little, the tide went out. Yeah. So we got a few nice pictures there, so that was the cover and everything. God. And then when
that
everything...
feels a long time ago.
It doesn't it?
Yeah.
But when everything opened back up, then I just got a message off two of my mates saying someone was doing an open mic in the Workman's Club. So that was the Flow Show. They've set that up. So that was just opening everything back up. And then since then, I went back to that once or twice. Then I got invited by Emma O'Brien, a friend of mine now, to do Dublin's Finest. So that was a night happening every so often. You kind of have the open mics, and then his was kind of like an invitation.
Yeah.
So went in there, kind of in over my head nearly, you know, that way. But it was a great experience.
Yeah.
And then around that same time, I done a poetry slam We Are Griot, I think that's how you pronounce it. But that was in Merrion Square. So I made it into the final round of that. So it's just being able to kind of go around these things. So ever since that, you just got to feel for it. And now you're just kind of embedded in it. You're going around to these things. You kind of feel like a little celebrity in small places, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah, in the clique.
In the clique. So then you do that, and then there's been other things, like I won the Fingal Poetry Slam last year, and they had another one this year, so I'm not the champion anymore. I'm not bitter about it, Ran. But
did you enter this year?
No, I didn't actually, no. But you were doing it much more, like I think last year was just anyone could rock up.
Yeah.
Well, you kind of had to send them a little video 3 minute long.
Yeah.
Then you were just taking winners from that. But this year, it was a lot more. There's 2 people going in each month. Right. So the people that won it, like I know a few of them, like, so they did deserve it.
Yeah,
so.
Well, that's good. Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to keep busy, going out, doing a few shows every so often, hosting shows, giving people their opportunity as well. Because as much as I like being out there, I like seeing other people make it as well, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah, 100%.
It's a good feeling.
Yeah, it's nice. Like I feel very inspired by the people I get to interview on this podcast now. And for me, that was what my aim was, to deliver that platform for people like you to have a say and be able to put your art out there. So what was your personality before the poetry took over, really?
It was mostly based around football. So even my mates would all be kind of from kind of football teams that I played for over the years.
Yeah.
Now, it got to the stage, like I was actually alright. Played for a good few teams, like Concealy, then Shelbourne, Home Farm. So I did play for good teams and stuff like that. And then I got to the stage where I was playing for a local team, and this probably actually kicked off the poetry as well, because I done my ACL.
Right.
And I had to kind of knock that on the head.
You had time spent on the bench now.
Time spent on the bench writing my poems, yeah. I don't know, I think it was a good, because when you lose something like that, when you're so embedded in the likes of football, and you're training twice a week, going playing a match, and then that's kind of took away, you kind of have all this time to say, oh, I need to fill my time doing something else, something less physical, of course. So this is where I was kind of writing down stuff, being able to write about it, get your feelings out there and stuff like that, you know what I mean? So that's kind of kicked off, or gave me a lot more spare time to try and do the poetry. So instead of going football now, I go to pubs and do poetry. Yeah.
So you've swapped the whiskey drinking for the poetry slam.
Well,
in a predominant sense.
yeah. You can say that then, yeah. That's fair.
Good, yeah. No, it's great. It's great to be able to link up and finally get the chat that we wanted to have a while back now. Like myself and yourself, we know each other from working back in the day, but it's great to have the chance to sit down with you.
True.
But yeah, so what was family like growing up for you? Your dynamic. You've got a sister, Dee, don't you?
I have 2 sisters, Dee and Pauline.
Right.
Ma and Dad, Tricia and Jimmy. So I'm Jimbo. I'm James Dillon the third.
Nice.
Yeah. But great family growing up. Real close to the cousins and stuff like that. So there was never anything kind of mad going on. Or if there was, I didn't know about it. I just thought, this is great family, you know what I mean? Real close to the sisters as well. It wasn't like kind of growing up and being bullied or anything like that. They look after us. See, I'm the baby of the family, so I was kind of the spoiled one.
Right.
I didn't ask for much, but...
Yeah, a pen and a pad maybe.
Probably, yeah. But great growing up, great childhood. Great friends growing up as well. Yeah. Like Clay and Cavan and stuff that would have been kind of growing up on the road, and then kind of branching out then when I went to the likes of Chanel, and kind of your circle gets a bit bigger, so still pal around with them now. So no, good childhood. The most creative one would be my ma. Like she wouldn't be into the likes of writing and stuff like that, but what she does now, she makes the likes of cards and everything. So people in the family, if any kind of events are coming up, they usually get onto her.
We'll allow a shameless plug here. Has she got an Instagram handle that we can link her up on?
Gifts by T, I think it is. I don't know what she like me saying, but she's good. Look her up.
Well, there you go. It's supporting the local businesses as well, so that's nice.
But she's great, but like when she puts in like a little verse and stuff like that, she always picks all the nice ones. So I don't know whether she writes them herself now, but she knows a good one when she sees it.
Nice.
So they'd be very open to kind of have me do a poem in front of them or something, and kind of you want people around you to be kind of critique it in a way that you can learn from.
Yeah.
And they're always quite honest about it as well. So it's good. When it's bad, it's alright.
It does work.
Yeah.
It's good. There's always areas to improve on when it comes
Exactly.
to learning. And recently, the last gig that I was at with you was St. Anne's.
Oh yeah.
And I was there to get some photos, but I was actually happy people were walking in the ways because it gave me a chance to focus more on what you were saying.
Yeah.
So there was a bit of a difference there, but it went from one feeling of comedic value in a poem to the next feeling of appreciation with the nurses. It was flawless. Like to be able to touch people emotionally, it's very good.
No, it's great because you have kind of an idea, and then you put it down on paper, then you kind of perform it, and then you get feedback from it as well. Yeah. So it's nice to have that kind of loop of this is actually something I came up with, and people are resonating with it.
Yeah.
You know that way. Like even that St. Dan's gig, that would have been an hour-long gig, Saturday and Sunday. Like that was. It's kind of tough enough, you know, that way.
It flew through.
Yeah, no, it felt like that as well, yeah. The first day, we got lashed on, didn't we? It was bad. But the second day, like, I love when all the mates show up.
Yeah.
And you have an attentive audience there, you know what I mean? Like, the bigger the crowd, the better. Like, I've never been kind of shy doing stuff in front of people.
Yeah.
Like, even that back years ago, I'd have, like, memories of my sisters giving me money and telling me to dance around to a Michael Jackson song, and all the mates are watching. I'm like, yeah, this is it.
A young entrepreneur in the making.
Yeah.
Little did they know it would turn to a book.
That's it. So I've never been really afraid of getting in front of people and talking. So I think it's a natural progression of just going from that to standing up there in front of people and giving a speech, because I love being able to sit around other people, other performers and stuff, just having the chats, and then someone gets called up on the stage. They do that thing, they come back down and there's yapping again, you know that way?
Yeah.
It's just like you flick a switch nearly, turn into performer mode, and then you just go back right where you were.
Yeah.
It's great to watch.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, it's an art form.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be able to deliver it in that way, it's good. So you've played an awful lot of places so far now, grand, you know.
A lot of cool places.
Yeah.
I think a couple of favourites would be like the Smock Alley Theatre.
Right.
That was lovely, part of the La Mansarda. They do great stuff. As part of Poetry Day Ireland this year, I've done stuff in the Casino Marino. That was deadly. That was one of my favourites as well. I just love going to fancy places as well. Fancy places and dingy places. Anything, I'll go, you know that way.
It's about the people that show up at the end of the day and how they feel about it.
But I love seeing, like, you usually see the same people.
Yeah.
But I love when new faces pop up as well. People that are only getting into it. Or people that have been around for ages. Like you see, there's definitely levels to it. Like you've seen people that have been around the same ages, and then they're going off and doing big shows and stuff like that. But you see people up and coming, and then they start getting their name out there and stuff. It's just, I love seeing all that. You know what I mean?
It's a very supportive feeling to be able to.
Mad supportive, yeah. And I think everybody in that. Because I was talking to some other lad, and he was saying that he was kind of in the rap scene. Yeah. And I was saying it's very competitive there. Like even now, like in the rap songs, it's always like, I'm the best, I'm this, I'm that. But with the poetry thing, it's like, oh, you done that deadly. Like, you know what I mean? I wish I could do that. And then you're going off, getting ideas, coming back to it. So it's a good community, I have to say. It's good to be kind of a member of it now. You know that way?
Yeah, of the clique.
Of the clique. Love the poetry clique.
Tell us more about the clique.
You don't know about the clique?
Yeah, who's in it? Who's in this?
I was going to name drop loads, right? But
we'll give a shout out to Emmett because he's making some stomper moves with his poetry.
Yeah, we love Emmett O'Brien. He's the one that invited us up to Dublin's Finest after seeing us in the Flow show. Great. And ever since then, we've become good mates. Like, he's living in Canada now. I was kind of asking the other day, is he kind of gigging over there or whatever, but he's just more focused on kind of making cash. Yeah. So it'd be great to see him. Hopefully he comes back eventually. Yeah. We miss him. Yeah, but he's great. Then he was obviously doing Dublin's Finest, so he thought I'd be a good kind of person to pass the torch on to, because as I said, I love seeing people do well. I'm doing a show, well, by the time this comes out, it'll be out there and all, but I'm doing a show tomorrow, so it's the last Sunday of every month in Shinay on Ormond Quay. So that's like a closed mic thing. So I go to the open mics now, kind of poach people, and then ask them, do you want to do a bit for this?
Right, very good.
Because all the open mics, it's usually like a 5-10 minute slot, but with this you'll be able to see like a whole range of what they do. Right. You get to get the essence of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's lovely. It's nice as well.
Yeah.
You, like you say, you've been past that torch.
I've been past that torch.
So you're the man to, poach in the future. People on the network.
People are reaching out to me, saying, oh, what's the story with this? Can I do it? So I have a little list going already.
Yeah.
So last Sunday of every month, that's what we're booked in with Shin A.
Nice.
The people there, Chris, the barman and all, they're just deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're real kind of friendly and stuff like that, because they obviously want to see people in there enjoying themselves, buying drinks, you know, the more people can get in, the better, you know. Yeah. And then with that one as well, tenner at the door, and then the proceeds of that goes to pay the artist.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah, because a lot of people, like including myself, we all have our own little day jobs.
Yeah.
This is kind of a side hustle, so
yeah.
I suppose the dream would be to kind of being able to do it full time, but you know, I'm comfortable enough kind of doing my own job, doing a bit of writing on the side, and then going out there at the end of the day or over the weekends and stuff, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to be able to have them options as somebody looking to do something on a weekend in Dublin or further afield. Maybe you never know where it could take you with your organised process that you're doing.
Exactly,
the finest, Dublin's finest on tour.
Let's see.
Galway, shout out Galway. They have a big network down there that you might be able to link in with and get some other sort of people further afield.
I think the furthest gig I done would have been in Belfast, and we were invited up by Jim Crickard. So when I done that, we had Griot Poetry Slam, that's where I met him. And then since then he just reached out, so myself and Emmett went up to Belfast to do a gig.
Brilliant.
It was an amazing experience. We got the bus up that day, done our bits, and then came home that night. Wish we would have stayed up there for the night. Would have been a good little party that they had. Yeah. But it's just great being asked to do gigs.
Yeah.
Like, people reach out randomly. I was like, yeah, do you want to do a few bits at this? I was like, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I'm there.
So for somebody who could be a fresh pair of ears, perhaps writing some spoken word and looking to kind of put themselves out there, not mentioning any names, but what would be the first process you would give somebody an encouragement of how to go about it for themselves?
It would be to rock up to an open mic. So a few of them, we have the Flow Show, which I think is going to make a return soon. We have Smithfield Creatives, ran by Adam Kelly. I only met him today. I'm their kind of merch guy.
Right.
I make a few t-shirts for
them.
Nice. Then we have Ned Dunn with Juno, or Beats, Juno Beats. That actually happens in Juno. So they be ones that just come to my mind straight away. Then it would be the likes of just following these people. Like, that's how I trick them, you see. You follow these people, you know, you like a few of their bits.
You plant the seed.
You get on their map, and then you're kind of invited in, you're in the clique. It's a simple process, you see.
I thought it was like a bit of a background check and, you know, CIA fingerprint, all that sort of stuff.
You've probably done that, I don't know. I don't know who the head person is, but that's how you get into it. You just get
safeguarding and all.
Exactly, you see your little blip on the map, and then you're in there with all the other blips.
Lovely. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, well, it's a great way to kind of look at things, like from a professional perspective, like that you're delivering there. It's fantastic to see that there's so many options for somebody coming into this area, because, you know, every day on the radio you hear music, you hear little interviews and features, but you never actually hear a poet in the full swing of what they're able to deliver. So to have the option to go and see this live in all of these events that's created by the people in the clique, and then some. It's great to have that opportunity. So, as we said, Shin A is a great one to look into if somebody's looking to attend. Ticket purchases, supporting the artists. But what direction do you feel like you're looking to take your own poetry now yourself?
Well, I like the intellects of this wonderful podcast, Leanne's Lounge. And the only way you're saying about the radio. Because at the St. Anne's Rose Festival, Joe Bourne came up. There was like, we done a little interview there, but it was stopped short because I had to kind of leg it over and actually perform. So he came over, he caught a bit of me set, and then he said, would you be able to come on the radio one of the days? So I was like, yeah, 100%. So it would have been a couple of weeks ago now, but he just reached out to us, like, I think the day before, and he was like, do you want to come in tomorrow? I was like, yeah, I'll come in, I think it was like the morning show.
Ready and waiting.
I had a little red book. I'd done a few poems from. We were getting texts in as well, and people weren't putting their names at the end, but it was like Jimbo for president. I know who that was. That was Chico, but all the rest of them kind of. It was great to hear poetry on the radio. I didn't even tell the people in my job, and my boss then ended. He was just flicking through the radio stations, and he heard my voice. He's like, "What's going on here?"
Should he not be a organiser?
But But he's saying it to me the other time. He goes, "You're going to leave this job and just go to the poetry full time and all." But it's like, no, that's not going to happen. Not for now, anyway.
No, until it's a capable support network for your finances, of course. But sure, look, you never know where that would end up. I'm just going to also give a little shout to Electric Picnic, which you performed at, so that's a big deal. Like, you've done a couple of gigs there, did you? Yeah,
last year it was actually with Emma O'Brien was setting up his own tent there, and I wasn't supposed to perform, but someone was late or they couldn't make it. Right. So I was obviously, it was on the Saturday. Well, on the Friday we went a bit heavy, so when he texted me on the Saturday morning saying, "What's the story? Can you do this?" I was like, okay, I need to get ready. Get that can away from me, that way. So we rocked up last year. It was raining, it was lashing, but we rocked up in the wellies, book a hat, and then done a few minutes there as well. So that was a taste of it in Electric Picnic. We were in a tent, people were coming in, so that's great. You know what I mean? You're talking, and sometimes it's like nearly on autopilot because you know all your stuff, so you can kind of gauge the crowd. You can kind of feel what's working, what's not. So it was that last year, and then this year was a lot more organised. So Shiv Hickey, she put loads of people on this year, and they had, I forget the name of the tent, but it was a carpet on the bottom. People were just lying down listening to you. It was that on the Friday, so we ended up rocking up a bit late. So it was like set the tent up, leg it over there, do a bit, and then on Sunday it would have been with Leanne Dunn and Leanne Bickerdike. She has a show, Wretch. She's an actress. She's bleeding deadly. And she done the first Dublin's Finest, doing like the storytelling. Very good. She's class. And then Leon Dunn, he's currently the All Ireland Poetry Slam winner. So I'm good friends with him now, actually. He told me about Bambinos. But he was the one that invited us up. Then you had Dave Hines. He's the fella that kind of looks after the whole minefield word tent. Yeah. So it was ourselves and a couple of other poets that went down. So when you're in the performer tents or in the performer campsite, you kind of know loads of people there. So you're in the little EP clique. An EP clique now, it's just like that all over the place, yeah. So like, when you're trying to locate each other, it's just a little, it's not the Marco Polo situation. I've kind of noticed that people are doing that to me a lot more often now, yeah. The cliques is kind of my out now, yeah. Nice. So how did the EP fare out last time compared to this time? Obviously you did mention there that the lack of preparation obviously played its own part, but you still stood and delivered and showed up, and you were ready. And this year you were more prepared, you knew in advance. How did it differentiate for you? Yeah, it definitely felt more organised, but I don't mind kind of last minute jobs because you kind of have stuff in the back of your head. Someone asks you to do kind of a set for 10 minutes. You have a list of your poems there. I usually have how long it takes beside them. So the whole preparation is you kind of have the poems that you want to do, you leave a minute or two just for spiel in between, like this poem is about that, what do you think about that poem, this one's about this, you know what I mean? It's kind of, it flows that way. Like my poetry, I like the way, like I thought I couldn't actually write poems because, as I said, with my childhood nothing really traumatic happened, and I always thought poetry was like, oh, I'm feeling sad and these are my feelings. But with me, you kind of write about what you know. And I was told ages ago, it's always write for yourself because you'll always like it. Even if no one else likes it, you'll still like it. That's some great advice. Yeah, I took that advice on board. Anyone that gives me advice, I always take it. Yeah. Bend your knees a little bit on the stage, that's another one. It just helps. And then when you're halfway writing something, don't tell people about it, because they'll skew your kind of opinion going forward. Yeah, that's a great way of taking on. So I have a couple of ones that I'm kind of walking through. You get an idea. The whole process with me is I'll come up with probably a title first and then build everything around it. Like I was only looking at my notes there and I think I had like 400 notes, but they're not real like laid out or anything like that. It's just you kind of get a little bit of inspiration, you write it down and then you just forget about it. So then when the time comes to writing something, you might have a little flick through the notes, say, oh, that relates to that, or I can fit that in somewhere. Like recently, the most recent one I've done actually was with Colin Keegan. He's a big fella in Poetry Ireland. So he asked Leon Dunn to host workshops. That was the first workshop I actually went to. So I was, will I go, will I not go? So I delighted I did. So he has a poem called Ireland Is. So I think it's over 10 years old or something now. But he was trying to get other people's kind of what Ireland is to you. Right. So it's kind of, you go into the workshop It was the first one I done, so I didn't really know what to expect. So
This was in the Axis recently, wasn't it?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the Access Ballymun. So went in there. So he kind of plays the poem that he done. Then he kind of gives examples of it, like it's a list poem. So it's like Ireland is an on the road machine. It's existentially frightening out there. It's got alloyed wheels and tinted windows. It can tear you limb for limb or stop and offer you a lift. That's the start of his one.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes through, because he was explaining when he was asked to write it, it was kind of supposed to be like, come on Ireland. But he didn't really feel like a come on Ireland. He's like, this is what I'm thinking about it. You should definitely listen to it, Stella.
Yeah, I will. I'm going to check it out straight away.
But then they asked us to write our ones. So when you're in a room, like with all the creative people around you, it's amazing just to kind of get little gauges of it. Like the first line I wrote was, Ireland is, well, it depends. And I just had it all blank, like I had nothing to give to the group, you know that way. I was like, crap, because at the very start I was like, I'll write down all the list of stuff. Ireland is this, Ireland is that, you know what I mean, ginger, freckles, all that sort of stuff, you know what I mean. But I never actually got to the chance of writing it down on the poem there and then. But when you're around people like that, like the stuff that they had down in like the hour that they had, I was like, I can't keep up with this. And he's like, I'll give you till 8 o'clock tomorrow. Yeah. So I went home, start writing it. I do a lot of writing on the train and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just you're on your own. You have about 40 minutes there to get into work. So jot down stuff. Then when you're in the job, kind of put down little stuff on your phone without getting caught up with that. Yeah. And then you're putting it together. So that would be my latest one. And I have it that I was the runner up nearly. And then I got a little shout out on his Instagram. What did I say? Ireland used to be a fair knock, cotton bottoms tucked into socks, hands down the jocks. Now it's gentrified. North Face tops, coffee shops, and bringing your Frenchie on a walk. I was like, yeah, I made the cut. I love it.
That's brilliant. And it is very you. It's very, like the Frenchie part, obviously. Like,
that's what. Yeah.
The observation part is a lot in. It's very, very good.
Yeah. So that's the latest one I have. So he said it was alright. Leanne said it was good as well, so that's all.
You got the seal of approval.
I got the seal of approval, yeah.
So I think that's very good. Yeah, I actually seen that on your Instagram there recently, but I wasn't aware that you partook in that Access workshop.
Yeah.
I did get in touch with Leanne because I was very curious to see what would be delivered in that workshop. Yeah. But I'm hoping to get hold of another one, the next time around, to try and pitch a spot.
So I think Colin Keegan's doing something. You'd have to look it up, but it's like an event where it's going to be another one of those people that were at it. I don't know if I can name them. I don't know if it's public knowledge type thing, but
we'll leave it be for now. But
but there's going to be people doing their own versions and other people walking away as well at it, so it should be a good event.
Good. Yeah. Very good. Nice. I look forward to hearing all about that.
Yeah, we're sure to keep you up to speed.
Yeah, we'll give you a little shout out on Instagram when that goes.
Yeah.
Active and we're allowed to disclose the fine tuning.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Nice. So that fantastic amount of poetry that's out there already. But would you like to spit some words on the mic?
I tell you what I'll do, right? Yeah. Will I read you that one that I wrote recently?
We'll start. We'll go with that one that you've just recently.
So I never done this. This is a world exclusive for Leanne's Lounge, right? But if you
it's a privilege.
If you just hear us talking, it means it wasn't that good. It's cut out, right? Okay. I'll do it, right? Ireland is, well, it depends. You might see welcome and arms outstretched, but if you look closely, there's a pint being held at each end. It's the ghost of De Valera puffing out his chest. Your cade meal of falter falters when you offer to house those less fortunate, but forget that our streets are already lined with tents. Ireland is heavily influenced by whatever America decides. Issues happening stateside usually wait a couple of weeks before it hits the Emerald Isle. Crazy how cops killing an unarmed man will have people in another country up in arms. Their best export is culture wars. Ireland is remaining sombre during the repeal the 8th debate, then celebrating a bit too much when it passed, as if it wasn't future generations' souls we'll never know. That can be the toll, retribution for mother and baby homes. The grass here is not as green as it's perceived overseas. Never surprised when a mate leaves. That burgundy passport facilitates a clear passageway to any and all of their destinations, willing to take our people suffering, this time not from potato blight, but our Irish looking for a better life. Ireland is that piece of paper with Pope John Paul's face, torn apart by someone who was misunderstood, but through the passage of time her mind was more clear than all the clergy combined. Ireland is, hearing I'm not racist, but on the back of the bus, make your ears prick up, made feel uncomfortable. Ireland used to be a fair knock, cotton bottoms tucked into socks, hands down the jocks. Now it's gentrified, North Face tops, coffee shops and bringing your Frenchie on a walk. Ireland is ginger, has freckles, loves talking about the weather, participates in alcohol-fuels debate about anything. Ireland is full of wee rebels with mutton chops, slashing short grass, faithful to Yeats and Crystal Lakes. It's hooking up with a royal in the kingdom's garden, holding up a banner for the forgotten, all gone up in smoke. That sideways look when you put London in front of Derry. Ireland didn't die suddenly. A progressive creep. Cobblestone streets, Irish dancing badly at the Cayley, Jack Ian's, cold cheese, pillbeg chimneys. Ireland is singing up the Ra, how's your maja there working, how she cutting, cow-haired culling cause some genius thinks their farts cause global warming. Ireland is bleeding deadly. If you're sick, flat 7-up is the only remedy you'll need. Ireland is splitting the G, drinking tea, tell the world leprechauns have gone extinct. TG Carter versus RTE, Michael Flatley. Ireland is and will always be in McGraw. Ireland is worth fighting for.
Yes.
There you go. World exclusive.
Oh my God, Jim. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Good man.
There you go.
God, that is a privilege and an honour to have you on as a guest, let alone the poetry as well. Like, just fantastic.
Thanks very much.
Well, I can't believe that. That's like, it's very you.
Yeah.
It's very you.
That's it. You have to write for yourself. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to be able to see you pitch that from a stage at some point in the future. It's very clever. Yeah, 100%. I'd say that would be one of my favourites now.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just very sentimental to Irish.
It's just trying to think, like, because when we went in there, everyone was saying to us, like, actually, you already have a poem about Ireland, like, we'll make Ireland grand again.
Yeah.
So I was trying to kind of look away from that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was trying to put your mind somewhere else and okay, we'll think about this, we'll go there. And actually, about the Frenchies on a walk and stuff, we went outside and I seen people on scramblers and Frenchies on a walk, North Face tops. Like, this is Ireland, look around you. Yeah.
Good, you're a great observer.
That's it, you have to be, yeah.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Would you like to hit us with another poem or two before we finish it?
You like my fat friend?
Yeah, I love a bit of the humour and the poetry that you deliver, yeah.
That's the
really
thing,
like
when I do a show, right, and someone's there and they always, like, when they request something, I'm like, do you like this one? Like, I actually done My Fat Friend up in Belfast because Jim said it to us. Yeah. He's like, oh, My Fat Friend is very funny. So I was like, oh, I'll do that one. So, because I had other stuff written down. But as soon as someone requests something, I'm like, yes, I'll do that. Yeah. So My Fat Friend.
Yeah.
My fat friend helps me achieve great highs. Mostly when he's on the opposite end of a seesaw ride. He's been told multiple times that he might die if he doesn't change his diet that's been slowly killing him while sustaining him his whole life. So, it's with a heavy heart I'm writing this, reminding him that not only is his heart heavy, but the culmination of fat might just compress it to the point. The pressure makes a diamond and the pain subsides. Probably only right because he's a diamond. That's how he's seen in my eyes. He's friendly with all the girls in the checkout line. Knows the jingle to every food advertisement that has a catchy rhyme. If he doesn't order a pizza for more than 2 days, they call around to his place to make sure he's okay. The local chefs know his face and know his reviews carry weight. Quite like his belt and suspenders combo, it keeps that gut in a static state. If they were to break, that tummy would tumble at an amazing pace and the fish I made would cause him to fall in, just to get stuck at the waist. Always finishes every dinner. He's the one who recommended XXXL t-shirts to those who could eat bottomless chicken wings the quickest. His cheesy grin can be seen immortalised in the winner section of every conceivable cuisine. Only gets angry if he goes unfed. He lives at the plateau of an inverted food pyramid. Wins every food fight. Enough left on his bib to sustain a rugby team for a fortnight. His cholesterol cells have banded together, and one day they plan to fight the white. He has to stay on the ground floor for evacuation plans. He doesn't fall, he has a fall. The tea towel he uses to wipe his brow needs to be wrung out then hung out. The breeze would carry the scent and make you think every chipper in the area got an advance on their rent. He can cook for himself, but best believe it's going to be greasy and covered in cheese. Discount codes are this man's riches. His pins and needles, more like spears and stitches. Spends more money on disposable delf, and it's the only house in the area you won't find cookies on the top shelf. He likes the more sweaty Elvis. His own pelvis resembles a Yankee candle with glass that's cracked and let bits spill out while it's melted. When he smiles, it shows on all chins. Sometimes I let him hide my cans in his fat folds when we're going out anywhere he can sneak them in. Man versus food, but food's fighting back. Health problems higher than his pancake stacks. But I think he's big and beautiful, with an hourglass figure. It's just his time is running out. Quicker and quicker.
Oh, I love
Do you know where that came from? Like during lockdown and everything, I was drinking whiskey, eating curries, and I was getting quite big. So I was like, I'm going to write this to scare myself into losing weight. So that's about me.
Well done.
Yeah.
Well done. Oh, it's super. I mean, it's great. You're constructing something that you feel is relatable to the moment.
Yeah.
It relates to you in your feelings. Your delivery of it is humorous now because it's not your dynamic. It worked.
Exactly,
It worked. You know,
I did have a friend reach out to me and goes, is that poem about me? I was
Did
like,
you?
yeah. I was like, are you serious? No, it's not.
Yeah, I'd say you
calm
probably have a few people feeling suspicious.
It's probably, yeah.
Fantastic. I honest to God, I can't thank you enough for that.
Yeah.
But
Thanks, Leanne.
when we finish up on one more poem, if I can be so cheeky as to request,
Oh,
would
do
you
loads.
like the renowned Irish poem?
Ah,
the
Make Ireland
real
Grand
OG,
Again?
The
Okay.
real OG.
This is the one, the money maker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've done this loads of places now. Every time I do a show, I always end. My mate Fitz said that's what she goes. You got to end with Make Ireland Grand Again, because one of the first ones I done was actually during kind of a lockdown. EP was cancelled, and the lads on the beach. It would have been Shawnee Mind Yourself. I don't know if you know him or not, but he does the yoga down there and stuff. So they organised like a Portmarnock picnic, and they were reaching out to people like who's there, like poets, musicians and stuff. So when I seen poets there, I was like, a strange chance I can do a bit. And they're saying, oh yeah, we were kind of hoping you would.
Oh,
So that
lovely.
was the first time I went there. I done with the jazz and everything. So yeah, I done a good one. So
Really.
Make Ireland Grand Again.
Yeah, we'll finish on this epic high.
Okay. Okay. I want to go back. I can't say exactly to when. Not so far back when the spuds were duds. Civilians dying in the rise, and before the all airing came to order, or all the troubles on the border. I'd like to cherry pick the best bits when Ireland was grand. I'd like to talk to those who built Newgrange, ask how they timed the winter solstice to a T. When Oscar Wilde roamed the streets, or James Joyce during Ulysses, Celtic Tiger in its peak, and the only bust in sight was Molly Malone's. Everyone has a Tamagotchi. Italian 90 playing on the telly again, and fuck Scalacci. The night Christaborg seen red. Aspirations higher. Nelson dethroned and erecting the spire. McGregor. Not when he was flogging whiskey to outfellas, when he was made champ, and there was talk of putting him on the stamp and the coinage. The belittling of Rod Little. Oh no, Eamon, leave it bleed now. You wouldn't give us a lift to Colester. And of course, Celtic. What if Georgie Burgess got the snip? Garth Brooks has played some gigs. If Barry McGuigan had weak wrists or Johnny Logan had a lisp, we'd still be dancing in Billy Brennan's barn or around a pint of plain. If I drown in this nostalgia, these are the grand times I'd want to be found reeling in. I'd keep Bonham. I like him. You'd have Katie Taylor thanking God another try by that lad bod and less ATMs getting robbed. Pre-foot and mouth outbreak post Henri's handball heartache. When the Pope came and kissed the land, that was grand. When we could withstand an orange weather warning, that was grand. When all the snakes were banned, that was grand. A time where everyone who wants it gets to shift. We all get off French by the girls in Bewitched. The batter on your Bordeaux fish is always crisp. Fearless Paul Kimmage questioning Lance on his drug stance. Michael Flatley's ankles are wringing wet cause of river dance. The 32 counties? If we get the chance. When the smell of our factories wafted through our streets, the mix of Cadbury's hitting the breeze, blended with potatoes, onion and cheese, perfectly in harmony. Father Ted gives every eulogy. And we stop mimicking the States. They want to be great, we'll settle for grand as long as their homeland is where having the crack originates without debate. Michael D is handled with care by the safe hands of Packy Bonner so he can lay a wreath whenever we need him. The leaves are always in free fall on Raglan Road. No matter where you go in the world as an Irish pub, we communicate in wink and elbow code. If we live with the clarity of Padraig Pearse's pen, we will make Ireland grand again.
Yes, Jimbo. Thank you.
I never get tired of doing it, you know that way?
And I never get tired of hearing that,
good.
because honestly, if people didn't feel it before, like, you make people proud to be Irish hearing the likes of that talent.
Yeah.
It's memories in every word.
Yeah.
It's an understanding of what Ireland is really about.
It's gas because
fantastic.
I have the hats there to make... You know the story about the hats, yeah? Obviously, Trump came out.
Put it out there for the people who don't know.
The people that don't know. Trump came out and I thought he was funny anyway. The only reason I kind of liked him was I won a bet on him. But he had obviously the Make America Great Again hats. So then I was like, I'll do a little Make Ireland Great Again. So the first hats I got were caps, green, with Make Ireland Great Again on it. And I showed it to my sister, Pauline, and she looked at it and she goes, "Oh, Make Ireland Grand Again." I says, "No, but it should be." So ever since then, all the hats that I've made has been Make Ireland Grand Again. And the hats were actually out before the poem. So I was like, I have to do a poem to match these hats. So I was like, what's it going to be? And I was like writing down all the stuff I thought Ireland was and then putting it into a poem. So that's how Make Ireland Grand Again was made then.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's brilliant. It's little comedic genius pinned together of everything, and it's full promotion of what you were putting out at the time.
Exactly.
And they're still rocking.
They're still going strong, yeah.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Well, that's great. Thanks for having us. Yeah.
Yeah, I know you on a personal level.
Yeah.
But I'm very proud of what you're putting out there. You know, I look up to the talents that you display. I think you're fantastic at what you do, and it's a privilege to even be able to support you by going to a gig, let alone be able to have a conversation on the podcast. So it's been an honour, and I can't thank you enough.
Well, thank you, Leanne.
And for the delivery of all the poetry and everything, it's been an honour. So thank you so much, and I can't wait to put this out.
Deadly. Thanks very much, Leanne. Thanks for having us, Willie. If you're looking for me anywhere, JimbosMyName. Our website, jameswdillon.com. So, yeah. Thanks, Leanne.
Thank you all for tuning into today's episode, and I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Catch you in the next one.